Okay, keep in mind that I'm only reviewing this because it's in the House franchise, because it barely qualifies as a horror movie. Like the original film, there are some horror elements, but it's really hard to even categorize it.
You happy now? No more anchovies!
It's like a romantic ghost thriller. Needless to say, it went direct to video. That's just great. While the first two House films had some amusing practical effects, they had otherwise low production quality. So how good do you think a straight-to-video installment's going to be? I will say this, it brings back Roger Cobb, the protagonist from the first movie, making this the only direct sequel to the original film. That, along with the fact that the plot takes place in yet another haunted house, are the only connections it has to the original. Sean Cunningham came back to produce, and Harry Manfredini did the music again, but this is really its own thing, like the sequels that came before it. Although Cobb is back, it throws away everything we learned about him. He's no longer a writer, and he's living with his new wife Kelly and their daughter Laurel. It doesn't even mention his son, so I don't know, maybe the first house ate him. So the Cobb family, living in an old run-down house, are pressured into selling to Roger's obnoxious stepbrother, who's made a deal with the mafia to develop the land or some crap like that. About 10 minutes in, Kelly gets a flat tire as she's driving home, and this has got to be the most turbulent flat tire I've ever seen, as it flips the car over, causing it to catch on fire. As a result, Laurel gets paralyzed and Roger dies, making most of that first film pretty pointless. After signing the papers to terminate Roger's life support, Kelly is ridden with guilt, but decides to continue living in the house to honor her late husband. Of course, she begins having weird premonitions and nightmares about her husband. That's really all the film has to offer. It's dull and moves at a snail's pace. The stepbrother is the main antagonist, and him, coupled with a couple of mafia idiots that wouldn't be funny in an early 90s Nickelodeon sitcom, really make this a challenge to sit through. To make matters worse, there's a mafia kingpin named Mr. Grosso, who vomits into a cup and then pours his mucus onto unsuspecting subordinates. Yeah, Mr. Grosso. Got it. I'm at a loss for words. And for you Dream On fans, Denny Dillon plays an undercover FBI agent, but I have a really hard time imagining her playing anyone other than Toby Petalby. Not much to say about this one. A disappointing flick made for the sole purpose of cashing in on the franchise, and I'm not going to recommend it.